Howdy, it's Kevin from Earth 2 Mastery, one of your top 18.6 favorite Earth 2 YouTubers. And tonight, we try to take over the world. So grab your suitcase because you're going to want to pack your bags. We're going to talk about a virtual house that is worth more than ours. First things first, I've got my discount code in the description down below and probably pinned to the top comment. I appreciate it if you purchase new tiles that you use that code. It helps me grow my Earth 2 empire and gets you 5% rebate as well, so it's a win-win situation. I also hope you're enjoying the new content on the channel. As you can tell, it's given the channel a boost in subscribers and views, which has helped me out. And it is, of course, the reason that I'm doing YouTube, because I want to grow the channel. I appreciate that I'm bringing people in that know about NFTs, introducing them to Earth 2, and bringing players from Earth 2 into the NFT world to learn about VeVe and ecomi and other cryptocurrencies. So I think they all relate because they're all digital and virtual investments and games and everything online and in the virtual world. So I think they all go together, and I appreciate being able to produce content on all of those topics. Okay, so I want to talk about this NFT house, which also fits into both topics. But can you imagine buying an NFT house for more than the median home price? Well, that's just what has happened. We've gotten an NFT digital Mars house by artist Krista Kim, sells for $500,000. Now, Ethereum's gone down a little bit, and so it's actually less than $500,000 right now at this point, but that's only if she held on to the Ethereum that she got from it. But as you all know, an NFT is a non-fungible token, which means that there's not another one like it, and they're not interchangeable. If you have $1, you can interchange it with $1. If you have a Bitcoin, you can interchange it with a Bitcoin. If you have an NFT, it's not equal to other NFTs, although it is minted on the blockchain for proof of ownership, and you can track those transactions on the blockchain to make sure that it's authentic and that it's the first one and the actual owner of it, how much was paid for it. There's all kinds of information you can get from the blockchain. So in that regard, it is collectible and it is virtual and it is digital, but it is not interchangeable for other tokens. So the majority of the proceeds made from the 3D digital file will head to the Continuum Foundation to support a world tour of healing sound and light installations for mental health and healing, according to a tweet by Kim. So it's possible that this fetched such a high price, partially because the people were viewing it as a donation, as a fundraiser. But it's also, NFTs are on fire. And, this is the first time that I've heard of a digital house being sold. People like that. People like to see the first thing. They like to be part of the first of something. That's one of the things that makes NFTs so great, is that they are rare. You can get assured rarity in the NFTs, which is like the land that we have on Earth 2. If you have a tile on Earth 2, it is not like any other tile on Earth 2. In that way, I find them to be like NFTs. And so I think that they have long-term value, collectible value, investment value. Obviously they can go down. Don't take financial advice from me. I have to keep saying that because, the SEC, and if you listen to me, you'll lose all your money. But regardless, they've sold this house for $500,000, which is more than the median house price, more than most of our houses are worth or cost. So my question to you is, how much is land on Earth 2 going to be? Now, I've speculated before that land on Earth 2 at some point will be worth more than land on Earth 1, or our real Earth, whatever you want to call it. This kind of goes to show that that's a possibility. And where do you put a $500,000 fake house? Maybe you put it on fake Earth. Could you imagine if we had some sort of cross-blockchain solution where people could bring NFTs from other blockchains into Earth 2 and use them there? For instance, I've got my VeVe collectibles. I've got Batmans and Harley Quinns and Ghostbuster logos. What if I could put those on display in our town centers near our guilds? By the way, if you want to join the guild, we've got property left in Kasha for sure. You can go and join the guild by buying land in Kasha and then verifying on our Discord. But if they're going to pay $500,000 for a house, how much are they going to pay for beachfront property to put that house on in Earth 2? We all know that people spend a lot of time online, and it's just going to become more and more as the virtual world and the augmented reality world become indistinguishable from the real world for those of us who spend so much time in them. if we have a place on Earth 2, are we going to pay a lot of money to have a nice house? If we pay a lot of money to have a nice house, are we going to pay a lot of money to have the right spot of land to put it on? We do in real life. Why wouldn't we in the virtual world, where we spend hours enjoying ourselves and showing off and investing? And there's a lot of similarities to the real world. And while I don't necessarily think that this particular house was worth $500,000, I wouldn't have paid that. And they probably wouldn't have paid it if it wasn't for charity. I do think that there's going to be a lot of value in virtual buildings that are constructed and that we can move into Earth 2. And I think that there's going to be a lot of value in the property in Earth 2 that you can move your house to. Does that mean that property in Beverly Hills is going to be cheaper than property in Beverly Hills on Earth 2? I kind of doubt it. But is property on the beach where you can't get any water right now, you can't get any electricity on Earth 1 to that spot, is the property in that spot going to be worth more on Earth 2? Quite possibly. A lot of times places are landlocked in Earth 1, or they aren't really usable because of permit issues or because of electricity or water issues. That's not going to be an issue necessarily in Earth 2. So the property in Earth 2 in that spot might be worth more than property in Earth 1. So I think that this house is probably, even to me, it's worth more to me than a house in the middle of Detroit that would be a liability issue and, have people living in it that I can't get out and that I can't sell, but I got to pay property taxes on it. This collectible house is worth more than one of those houses to me. And so I think that, there are digital assets that are worth more than their counterpart in real life. And this is just an exciting development for the world of NFTs. It's an exciting development for those of us that are invested in Earth 2, because I think that it kind of correlates, it crosses that boundary to show us that digital assets can definitely be worth a lot of money to certain people. And the further we go along and the more ideas that we have and the more I listen to people about the things that they want to do in Earth 2, the more I realize that we really are onto something. The team has to pull it together and they have to get us on track and they have to get the game moving towards a virtual reality and augmented reality function that keeps us happy and entertained and enjoying the game. But assuming they can do that and assuming we're going to be able to integrate businesses and lifestyles into the game, the possibilities are endless. And I really do hope that I can bring my VeVe collectibles into Earth 2 as well. I'd really like to see Batman hanging out in my corner over there in my virtual house on Earth 2 where I have virtual land. Okay, guys, so that's it for now, and I'll talk to you later.